Woo! Just for CM Punk. Hello, CM Punk.
I appreciate you guys playing Ruby Soho. I love that.
Your boys Rand said hello. Okay, I just have to tell you straight up. Abe Cannon over here is doing breath spray like you're not on the phone and like you're going to be right up close to him. He's very excited.
Well, this is my boy here.
It's your boy.
It's a little weird, but I get it. You know, like I haven't been around, so let's all get excited. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm actually known for my great breath. I use these Listerine sprays, and I recommend others use them. They're very good.
The streets are always talking about Abe's great breath. Hey, the streets of Chicago are talking about you, CM Punk. I mean, AEW. Wow, last week. All out this Sunday now at the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates. Pay-per-view,
which
7 o'clock.
Which was the Sears Center.
That's right.
People are very confused about that. It's the place that was called the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates.
Yeah, and it's your first match in 7 years. I mean, so tell me about that moment, right? You're about to walk out last week. How nervous, how excited, like what? I know you've been on a million stages in your life, but were you freaking out a little bit?
I was freaking out a lot. You know, like it's like riding a bike, but also you don't know what's going to happen, and there's doubts. There's are these people and appeals at me? You know,
Wow.
I think when you're an entertainer and you're on that stage, I think that doubt always creeps in. You know, because I think as human beings, we want everybody to like us, right? But I think obviously you come to terms pretty quickly with that, and you develop a tough skin. And I've also developed the courage to be disliked in a way. But in my hometown, there's no way that was going to happen, and it was like a big party. And I was nervous, but as soon as my music hit, it all washed away. It all washed away.
What a feeling.
I think I've been at many of your, I was at the first Raw you came out at. I was actually sitting front row at that. I was at Raw when you won the Intercontinental title from William Regal. I was at the Money in the Bank. I was live at this event, Rampage, and this was the best out of all of them. Do you agree? Was this the greatest moment of your career?
Yeah, hands down. Because there's triumph in that moment. There's washing away of sorrow in that moment, and it's very much like, hey, I won. You know what I mean? Like, I did things on my terms, and I didn't compromise myself one bit, and I came back with my integrity intact. And now let's get back to business, and that business is having fun.
And the ice cream thing, and by the way, pretty cool ice cream in Logan Square. That's where the ice cream was from. A great local business.
Nice.
Like, go there and buy the ice cream. But how did that come about?
So, Andy Kaufman used to do this when he would do stand-up shows, and he would just say at the end of the show, and on your way out, enjoy yourself some milk and cookies. And he would have buses or vans, trucks, whatever, handing out milk and cookies for his fans. I think Andy Kaufman is one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Andy Kaufman was a tremendous pro wrestling fan. He did great stuff with Jerry Lawler in Memphis, blurring the lines. And obviously I take a page out of his book. I like to blur the lines. I like people to question like whether this is real or if this is just wrestling, so they can lose themselves in the art, so to speak. But when I would do Q&As, especially here in Chicago, I would always buy donuts, pizza for people. And to me, the ice cream bar represents, like the creative freedom of an idea that everybody thought was great, everybody wanted to see, and the old place I used to work didn't capitalize on it because they didn't think of it, and they, for whatever reason, didn't want to do it. So if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
That's right.
And waiting 7 years for me to come back, every day, there wasn't a day that went by that somebody didn't ask me to come back or, say they missed me. So that was just my way of saying thank you, little homage to Andy Kaufman. And like a full circle moment,
Yeah.
and an expensive full circle moment.
And I love that you say that, the old place where I used to work too. And it must feel so good to be able to come back in this moment, 7 years later, hometown, and do things the way that you want to do them. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah. I understand life's tough and not everybody can do it, but I'm somebody who will just never compromise myself. And I say the place I used to work because I don't feel it's specifically necessary to mention them when I don't have to. Listen, I am full of anxiety and stress doing so much press for AEW right now that I am inadvertently going to say a whole bunch of stupid stuff. People are going to break it down and use out of context quotes for clickbait. But, you know, the reality is you can't talk to me coming back after 7 years without bringing up the place I used to work. I'm just trying to do my best to, you know, not sling mud, so to speak, because everything I say about them is 100% the truth. I just want to focus on and highlight the positives of the new place I work, AEW, you know. So I'm trying here. I'm trying.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of press. And by the way, that post interview that you had last weekend, Abe was very excited that you called him out by name.
Well, I'm the only person that he actually was happy.
That's right.
I was the only person he was happy to hear from in the press conference. He said, "Oh, hey, Abe, how you doing?" That was very nice of CM Punk.
Well, I haven't spoken to you in a while. You know?
This is my guy here.
Yes, I know. I love that.
I interviewed CM Punk the night before he had the Money in the Bank match. I mean, we go way back.
You guys go way back.
Did you ever think you'd be? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think there's some comfort, you know, when you're any type of a celebrity and you're doing press and stuff like that, because there's people out there that will try to ask a gotcha question.
Totally.
They have an agenda. I mean, there was one person that came into that thing, asked their question. They totally had an agenda, but you know, I'm decent at deflecting. So when you hear, you know, a friendly name, you're like, oh, good. You know what I mean? This guy's not going to be a prick.
That's right.
At least not that time.
Did you ever think maybe 3 years ago, 5 years ago, that you could ever be happy again wrestling?
I don't think I considered it. You know what I mean? 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't think AEW existed. You know, I don't think going back to WWE was ever, you know, really logically on the table.
When I look like the Cubs won the World Series, like they always say there's things that will never happen. I saw Danzig and Jerry Only standing next to each other on the stage. Like,
that's a big one.
I thought you would never wrestle again. I really did. Most people said you were coming back.
So did I.
I was going to say you probably did too.
I mean, people don't understand that you were honest saying that you were not going to wrestle again. It had to be something this special. I mean, on a whim, you sold out the United Center. It was people need to understand this. CM Punk sold out the United Center on a rumor that he might be there.
Yeah.
There is no one else in any industry that could do that. No one.
Well, you know, I mean, I'll let you say all that. I'll try to be humble about it. But I don't necessarily think you're wrong. You know, it was a perfect storm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to keep the momentum going and you know, shed some light on some other special talent, and we literally have fun. I'm in this position where I get to do this high level stuff, and I just get to do what's fun for me.
Timing is everything. Right situation, right time. Like, let's do it. And here we are. The stars have aligned. So, hey, we have a couple of fans with questions. You want to take a couple questions, CM Punk?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to a member of our show, Jay the Gay, the biggest wrestling fan. Hello, Jay the Gay. Say hello to CM Punk.
Good morning, guys, and good morning, Punk. I just wanted to say really quickly that, you know, I have such a deep love and appreciation for you because I had really tapered off from wrestling. And ironically, I had heard you on a show way back when on Sirius, and that was what had brought me back to wrestling in the first place. And then seeing you just wrestling all those years before you retired was fantastic, amazing, incredible. Like, you were one of my favorite wrestlers, and it was crazy to me that I had, you know, put a stop to it, if you will, and then had come back just on a whim or whatever after hearing you talk, and I'm like, this is insane. And so to have you come back now, the Rampage thing was not, I mean, it's insane. I mean, this is the coolest thing ever to have you back, to see you doing this, to see you seemingly happy and wanting to do this is awesome. I mean, like, as a fan who's been a fan for many, many years, and I mean, I watch your movies, you know, everything else, this is just awesome. I mean, this is a really cool, amazing moment for people like us as fans or whatever to be able to actually come back and see you wrestle again and see you be where we feel you need to be. And with AEW, it just makes so much sense. And it's really shaken up the wrestling world. And to me, it's an incredible, amazing feat to have you here. So I appreciate you so much, and I love you so much. You're so amazing.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
Lots of love.
That means, honestly, it means the world to me. You know what I mean? I want to keep that momentum and keep it going.
Bringing the passion back for the fans. All the fans are passionate again. Let's go to Ian from Carpentersville. Ian, say hi to CM Punk.
CM Punk, welcome home.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up, buddy?
What's up? I got a serious question. I'm from a fan to another fan, because I know you're a fan first. What was your biggest moment before you hit that curtain, before you got hit with the madhouse?
What was the biggest moment in my career before?
No, not your career. When you're backstage, when you're walking around there doing all your things, what was your moment that really got you? Like, okay, this is real now.
I'm going to call out Thunder Rosa. I was a nervous wreck the whole time. I'm pacing the hallways. I can't sit still. I can't watch a monitor. I can't talk to people. I'm running around, and then I'm waiting to go out, waiting for my music to hit, and she just looks at me and she goes, "Hey, welcome back." And I almost just burst into tears.
Aww.
I was just like, "You son of a bitch." I wanted to punch you right in the chest.
You probably are in that moment where you're just pacing and you're in your head and you're like, "Oh my God, I can't even imagine that feeling."
Yeah, so she got me pretty good with that one. I don't think that was, her intention, but man, she got me.
That one last question from Matt, who called earlier and had to go into work. He had to run into work, but he wanted to ask you about being on the Bozo Show. Were you on the Bozo Show? Did you play Bozo Buckets?
I didn't. I think I was maybe about 8 or 10 years old, and I played a form of hot potato with derby hats, and one of them had yellow polka dots on it. And I maybe cheated on live television for the first time in my life, and I won the game.
Whoa! What did you win?
Hubba Bubba.
I won a tube of Crayola smelling. It was like Crayola bubblegum shampoo.
That's awesome. I remember that bubblegum Crayola shampoo.
And the board game Don't Wake the Dragon.
That's hilarious, but that was probably such a moment for you as a kid. My God.
I remember going to the Bozo Show, and you're a celebrity. I remember the janitor who was tall. Everyone loved the guy because he's tall. Hey, touch the ceiling, Dan. He came in to get me. He's like, Abe, your mother needs to see you. And everyone went nuts when you were going. If you went to the Bozo Show as a kid, you were a celebrity.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I
was told, I was 10 years old, right, I think, and I was told that my parents had put the request in for the tickets before I was born. So that's how hot the Bozo Show was in Chicago in the 80s. You know what I mean? It took 10 years to get the seats.
Everybody wanted to be on that show. I have to tell you, I was going through my DVR the other day. I noticed that Heels on Stars is recorded on my DVR. My husband had it recorded, and I'm like, is he watching a drag queen show? What is Heels? And then I realized it was the Heels of wrestling show. So Ricky Rabies, right? Tell us about the show and what it's like to be on Heels, and are you loving that whole part of your career right now?
Yeah, I am. I really am. I think so. Michael Waldron wrote Heels. This is his love letter to professional wrestling set in Georgia. It's a story about a family who is in the wrestling business. There's two brothers. What they happen to do is professional wrestling, and Michael Waldron is probably more famously known for writing Loki on Disney Plus for Marvel. He's currently writing the next Star Wars movie. He's kind of a big deal. And his writing is spectacular, and it really shines through on this show, And if you're a fan of pro wrestling, or if you're not a fan of pro wrestling, I think you'll love this show, because really what it is, it's about human beings, and it's about relationships, and it's about family. So I had the time of my life on this show. I'm an actor playing a wrestler that used to be a wrestler that is now an actor. It's wild, and the whole thing's kind of meta. But my character Ricky Rabies is absolutely wild. and I think the world needs to see more of them. I debuted in episode 3. I'll be back for episode 8.
Nice.
And I'm glad you like the show.
Yeah, loving it.
The Ricky Raby's entrance is one of the greatest things you'll ever see. Just go
I agree.
Just go watch that on YouTube, and I think that'll get you into watching the show if you haven't seen it. CM Punk, before we let you go, we know. Okay, so you're from Chicago. You love music. You should come on Rock 95.5 one day and do a CM Punk show and play whatever you want.
Oh my God,
we have a rock station. We have a rock station here in Chicago. Finally, after all these years,
come on, Punk.
Rock 95.5, Punk.
Do it.
It should be number one on your presets.
Well, I'm not going to promise anything, but yeah, if we can fit that in the schedule, I'll be there, and I'll make people listen to some junk that they won't want to listen to.
Yeah, whatever you want to play, like the station, we'll turn it over to you. Whatever you want.
And since we are friendly voices, do you want to break any news? Like, is Daniel Bryan coming back? Is your wife coming back? Is there anything you could break here?
The only thing I'll say is that you should not miss this pay-per-view, and you should purchase it now and watch it on Sunday and just be a fan and enjoy yourself.
Oh, we're going to watch it all out this Sunday. Now Arena and Hoffman Estates pay-per-view. That's at 7 o'clock. I know it's going to be on in my house.
And
Abe Cannon's going to be on in your house.
I'm going to be there. I'll be there live.
You're going to be there?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Abe's going to be front row.
You think I'm going to miss the return of CM Punk?
Of course not. He'll be front row with his breath spray and his punk sign.
So you have Dynamite Wednesday.
Yeah.
Rampage Friday.
Whoa.
And then All Out. All those events at the Now Arena and Hoffman Estates. You have to be there.
Darby Allin going down, my man. CM Punk, thank you so much for taking all this time on the show today. We love and appreciate you. Abe Cannon, thank you for getting Punk on the show today. We love you. Next time, come in and say hi. Come in the studio. Come hang.
I will. When we're not in the midst of a raging pandemic, I'll be there.
Exactly.
I feel you. Yeah, right. Watch him come into the studio like right before his return.
Oh my God! If he got COVID from us and then he couldn't wrestle Darby Allin, we would get
We'd
murdered.
have to leave town. We'd have to leave town.
We would have to leave Chicago.
Hey, Punk, good luck this weekend. We can't wait to watch. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks for the time. Thanks for waiting for me, Chicago.
Of course. And hello, Living Color. CM Punk, Rock 95.5.